Lithuania is sending Leon Ceccah with the dramatic Solo Quiero Más to Eurovision 2026 in Vienna. The title, inexplicably, is in Spanish. It means I only want more. But are we wanting more from Lithuania this year? Let's find out. Let's review Eurovision. Yeah, it has been a pretty good decade for Lithuania at Eurovision. They are bringing a lot of fantastic songs. So it's a good tradition for Leon Ceccah, who has tried quite a few times to represent Lithuania before, this time dressed entirely in silver paint. Now, I hope there's not any lead in it because otherwise, I mean, red alert because oh yeah, there's a lot of paint going on there. But Leon is a big scene in a bit is big on the Lithuanian drag scene, so there's a real drama to this entry. They'll be at the Vienna contest. What do you think of it, Emily?
I mean, you are right. There is a lot of drama to this performance, and I like that, it's sung in multiple different languages. Um, so he's showing off his linguistic abilities. Um, but that's probably, I find this, I don't know what to say about this entry, really. I feel like it's more striking because he's entirely in silver. And without that, I don't really know what I would think of it. Um, I find I do want myself wanting more from it. I think like Lithuania over the past decade, as you said, have kind of built themselves up to be a bit of a kind of a really solid entry, and this feels like it's not particularly notable. And we'll come on to whether it'll qualify. I'm surprised that like the bookies have it for kind of qualifying over like higher up in chances than Montenegro and Georgia because I think
Do they
it's just kind
really?
of, yeah.
Oof. Not sure that's fair.
Yeah, I'm not really sure who this song is for. It doesn't feel like it particularly leans to jury or televote. Um, so yeah, I'm not mad keen on this one. I can't even particularly say why. There isn't anything kind of like objectionable about it. It's just it happens. I'd skip it if it comes on. I'd watch it because he's all in silver, and that's quite captivating. But otherwise, it's just not doesn't do that much for me.
Yeah, I think your line of I'm not quite sure who this is for is actually a very, very apt way of putting it. And I kind of wish I'd come up with that because that is exactly the problem that this is. I, I, I do enjoy giving the benefit of the doubt to kind of quirky, unconventional Eurovision entries. We've had one of our biggest, not fallouts, but one of our biggest divisions on this channel was Constructka in 2022, which I really got and you didn't. And I like to think that on something that's a bit quirkier, I can try and see what
And
it's
to be fair,
been
I
quirky
take
for.
it all back on Construct. That was the actual performance itself was great.
Good. There we go. That's I think you heard it here first, folks. A full 4 years after getting dragged in the comments of that video, she apologizes for slagging off. What was the song called that year? Incorpore Sano. There you go. So yeah, I do like to think I can kind of give the benefit of the doubt to quirky entries. I really do struggle with this. I just don't get it. Like I end up thinking, oh, why is he in silver? Why is he singing in Spanish? Why is it like so robotic? Why is there bits of opera in there? Why is it a bop? I have far more questions in the 3 minutes than the 3 minutes actually gives me time to answer. And I just end up thinking like I don't really know what I've just witnessed. It's a really baffling entry. Yeah, I just don't really get it. I want to get it, and I think that there's something higher going on here, but I end up just being more baffled than anything else. And yeah, it's not really for me. It's a bit of a letdown compared to Lithuania's entries. That said, I was a few weeks ago at one of the clubs here in London, and you could tell that the people there they were younger than me, but they were not there. There was another event going on that night, drag race related, and there were Sanit and Leon Checker were both there, and they kind of both performed. Sanit, people actually left the room when she was on. I was there like vibing away to Adrenalina, and people were leaving. People did stay for this, and people did, and it was captivating. The vocals were captivating, and there was something very magnetic about it. Not just because he was painted silver, but there was something. Oh, I get this, and people. It did hold people's attention, and people were cheering along with it. And these were people who clearly didn't know the song beforehand. So maybe maybe we're not seeing it because we know what Lithuania is capable of doing, what they have sent before. But a standard crowd of just casuals, it went down quite well, which is very interesting. But we know it will be in the very first semi-final. It is performing. I'm going to go and see who is performing after. Let's find out. It is performing between Belgium and, funnily enough, San Marino. Yeah, I mean, the bookies? I think we both agree we're a bit confused in putting this so high up to get through. What do you think of it? And what's your score out of 10?
Yeah, I mean that's interesting from your what's the phrase I was going to use?
On the ground reporting.
On the ground reporting, yeah, that people kind of warm to it because there is something kind of striking about it beyond just him being in silver, but it's just as an overall package, it's not quite for me. I think it's got a pretty good kind of placing running order wise to help it kind of stand out. So I think it probably does end up going through. But for me personally, I'm going to give it a 5.
Ooh, brutal. It's much less than we normally give Lithuania. We're normally fans.
Cheerleaders.
Yeah, we know normally our chilies. I think, yeah, I would agree. I'm going to give it a 5.5. I do normally skip it when it's on, but the vocals were genuinely very impressive, which is why I'm kind of putting this above something like Croatia. The vocals are impressive, so it is quite striking. This is really on the line for me. I don't know whether this is going through. And having said repeatedly, I think there are 10 clear qualifiers this year. I don't think, on balance, I don't think this is one of them, but I can see it going through. Given the reaction that it got, who knows? But do let us know what you think. Do you think Lithuania is going to qualify? Who knows? The comments are open, and we'll see you tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. We've got like 10 episodes left. Don't go anywhere. See you tomorrow.